What's up, guys? Today we're going to break down Patrick Mahomes in the famous ankle game. Midway through the second drive, Arden Key fell on Patrick Mahomes' leg, twisting his knee and his ankle. It was pretty gruesome, and he could barely walk. Mahomes even missed an entire 98-yard touchdown drive by Chad Henne. In this video, we're going to break down every snap Mahomes took, and even the ones Henne took, because I think that this is a really good opportunity to figure out who the engine of the Kansas City Chiefs offense is. The best way to tell how good a quarterback is to take him out of his scheme and replace him with somebody mediocre and see what the difference in production is, right? Because the scenario and circumstance is all about the same. The only real difference is the guy under center. Patrick Mahomes is very obviously better than Chad Henne. The only question is, by how much? Before we dig into the film, let me take a couple minutes to explain exactly how I grade these plays. 6 buckets. We got the elite throws. These are downfield bombs on a dime, Josh Allen type stuff. It's the kind of stuff that very few quarterbacks can do and almost no one can do consistently. A great throw is, a very deep ball that's catchable but maybe not perfectly placed, or it's like a perfect second level throw, like 18 to 25 yards downfield. All of these are subjective, so the yards I'm giving you are just guidelines. Everything is malleable, everything is context based and totally subjective. So somebody in a different video said, this is all just speculation. And I said, yeah, that's what scouting literally means. A solid throw is a positive throw that's not that difficult to make. It typically manifests itself in like 8 to 12 yard throws down the field past the line of scrimmage, or they can just be accurate throws on coverage busts, right? If a wide receiver runs a streak and the cornerback falls down, a throw that's accurate and gets to that receiver and lets him just take advantage of the coverage bust, that's good, right? You got to give him credit for reading the play out and being accurate, even if it's not a perfect ball. Bad throws are ones that are just inaccurate, or if they get batted. If a ball should be caught by a good starting defensive back, that's a pickable. Pickables don't always get picked. They're interceptable. That doesn't mean they're intercepted. And not all interceptions are always interceptable. Sometimes it's just bad luck, a deflection, a dropped ball, whatever. Most throws, almost every throw from almost every quarterback is going to be a pedestrian or routine throw. These are the things you expect your quarterback to hit, even if it's a backup. Checkdowns, quick hits, RPOs are typically pedestrian. I also grade the things that aren't just throws. The most prevalent one is going to be a positive pocket movement. This is any time that a quarterback extends the play or changes the launch angle to benefit the offense. Running around for no reason isn't positive, but in cases where it's actually helpful, you get a plus move. I also break sacks into ones that are the quarterback's fault and ones that aren't. I grade throwaways separately from all the above throws and then I break runs into positive, neutral, and negative. Neutral runs are about as effective as a check down. Positive runs are probably about 10 yards or more, and I give bonuses the further they are downfield. And then a negative run is anything that hurts the team. It's fumbles, really easy. Did the quarterback fumble? I don't care who recovers it. If they fumbled, it's a fumble. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the film. First play is going to be this jet option. That's not really a quarterback play. I'm not going to grade it. Second play, Mahomes is going to move out of the pocket and hit a routine throw to Kelsey. That's, nothing really to say there. This jump pass is really cool. People really seem to enjoy it. And it's definitely a good pocket manipulation, right? He basically buys himself a platform to throw clean. It's a great throw, and it's a plus movement. Jumping is a movement, and it bought him some time. Great job. This is also a really good throw in a really weird way. Patrick Mahomes almost didn't play in the NFL before he blew up as a prospect because he was going to go to the MLB as a shortstop. He turned down a lot of money. Here, it's a simple RPO type slant, except instead of an RPO, it's a SPO, it's a screen pass option. So either he's going to throw the ball to the screen here, or he's going to see that it's covered and throw the slant behind the defense. He threw the slant behind the defense. It's more of a post. It's kind of a weird little veer-ish, seam-ish thing. It's very common on RPOs. Kyle Shanahan's the king of it. 10 yards downfield, on target, and the cool little arm angle to make sure that all the throwing lanes are clean. Good job by Mahomes. Solid throw plus movement. That's the kind of magic you love to see from him. When everything is clean and he doesn't have to think that much, he might be the best quarterback ever. Granted, the game is a little more complex than that. Here, simple routine throw, no plus movement. That was a rollout, not some kind of avoidance of the rush. Here, Mahomes does a good job of bailing, right, and throwing the ball away, but there's a big but. Mahomes is an amazing quarterback, but his processing after the snap but before the play breaks down, that in-rhythm time is not so good. Right here, the ball needs to be out already. Like, it already needs to be in the air, hitting this curl wide receiver, right? It's first down, you take your 3 or 4 yards, and you move on. That's a pretty good first down play. But Mahomes isn't traditional, right? He should have already hit this receiver. And if he's not going to hit that receiver, he should be hitting Jerick McKinnon on this little Texas route right now. He doesn't. He doesn't see things like that. He's looking for more. He's thinking differently, and therefore it's a throwaway without the plus movement. I'm not going to give him credit for reading the play improperly. You get a lot of benefits out of Mahomes reading plays the way he does, but sometimes it costs him. Like here, this is a perfect example of how it can be a benefit and a negative. It's very confusing to grade sometimes. Watch Juju Smith-Schuster. He comes in motion out of the slot, so from the wing to the slot, and he's going to be the primary receiver on this route. He's going to run a little flat. Right here, he should be getting the ball, right? The play is designed, as you can see, to block this cornerback and to block this defensive back so Smith-Schuster can get the ball and then try to get to the edge using these two blockers as kind of a screen for the linebacker and outrun him to the stick. Mahomes doesn't do it. He should have done it. It would have worked. It would have been at least 4th and 1. Probably a first down. But because Mahomes is magic, he bails out of the pocket. Probably didn't need to do it. Totally missed his read. However, when he's there, he knows where Travis Kelce's going to be. And he throws one up to him. That's a solid throw. It's a plus pocket movement. But it's poor processing. And this is what's frustrating about Mahomes. Is that a good play? Is that sustainable? Well, we have a few years of evidence that, yeah, Mahomes is going to keep getting away with shit like that. Here's just a missed throw, nothing to it. Don't worry about it, everybody misses throws. And this is a touchdown pass. It'll look great in the stats, but it never gets easier than this. This is not mobility, this is not accuracy, this is existing in an offense that is genius. So, on the first drive, Mahomes had one really, really, really good throw, a great throw even, and then he had a couple that were a little confounding. So here again, we've got motion. That's going to tell us who the primary receiver is at least probably going to be. And right here, you can see that Sky Moore gets wide open on a little swing. This is clearly the first read. And again, it's just like that play I broke down a little earlier. This is effectively a screen. Sky Moore right here is wide open, and these wide receivers are effectively blocking. It's a large corridor to get you all the way down the field. Mahomes doesn't throw it for whatever reason and instead scrambles. This time, it's not quite as effective as throwing the ball would have been. He does a good job of elongating the play, which is why this holding is possible. But again, if you really break down the film, Mahomes is a bad processor in structure. And that might not matter, right? There are plenty of quarterbacks with plenty of deficiencies that are still really good. Tom Brady is really, really slow, and he's the best of all time. So you can have a deficiency and be incredible. It's just worth pointing out that Mahomes is not playing within the structure. He's not maximizing what the offense gives him. He's doing other stuff sometimes. That was still a neutral run, by the way. It was 5 yards, and it's a plus pocket movement because he extended the play and he created a holding. Here's a routine screen. Mahomes actually chose to throw that one for some reason. And here's another screen. I don't care what Travis Kelce does afterwards. He could run for 1,000 yards somehow, right? He could do Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl, run to the end zone like 5 times and score because he's just so good, and it doesn't reflect anything on Patrick Mahomes. Here on 3rd and 6, Mahomes with a little magic, and this is legit. Now, it's a good catch. It's a really good catch, but look at him avoiding the rush by rolling left. A lot of quarterbacks would try to roll right because they're more comfortable. Mahomes goes where it's easiest to go, because he's not afraid of trying to throw with a crazy arm angle. Here, he miscalculated a little bit, so he kind of runs into a defender. Let's play it again. He thought he was going to have a little extra time. He didn't. Right here, this defender comes free, and Mahomes says, oh shit, slams on the brakes, and does another awesome jump pass. This ball's not perfectly placed. It's a little tough to catch, but it's also 12 yards downfield and accurate enough to catch, so it's a good throw, and it's 2+ pocket movements. This is that Mahomes magic. I'm not going to go to the All-22 and break down if there was somebody easier to throw to, because it just doesn't matter. We know who Mahomes is, and we know that sometimes he misses reads, but we also know that you got to trust his process, because it typically comes out pretty well. Here, another plus movement, almost causes himself to get sacked, but he gets the ball out for a routine throw. Here on 1st and 10, just ages. Ages in the pocket. Ton of time. Surveys the whole field. Routine throw. That's excellent blocking, and that's just Travis Kelce getting open, sitting down in voids like he does. 2nd and 3, little screen. Super routine. Third and 3, Mahomes moves a little bit. Okay, this play is actually very frustrating because Chris Collinsworth goes at length. I hope they show the all-22 replay. They don't. God damn. Chris Collinsworth goes on a diatribe at length about how great of a play this is. Because if Mahomes throws this ball right here where he's looking to throw it, it's going to be picked off right here by this guy. So this defender stepped in front of the guy that Mahomes was originally targeting, and Mahomes pulled back, dropping the ball. Now, it's not a fumble, but it's kind of close. Instead, it's an incomplete pass. How do we grade this play, where Mahomes tried to throw a pick, aborted it at the last second, and threw the ball into the ground, and it was almost a fumble? He's kind of lucky it wasn't called one. Well, I give him a plus move for stepping up in the pocket, so good job there. As for the almost threw a pickable, aborted at the last second, I think it's a bad throw. To me, it's the same as if he had realized that it was going to be a pickable, and at the last second he changed the trajectory and made the ball go sky high out of bounds out the end zone. It's a bad throw and a plus movement. It's not a great play like Collinsworth said. It's okay. Okay, quickly, let's take a halftime break. Now, I thought about breaking it up into pre-injury Mahomes and post-injury Mahomes, but honestly, he played like 2 or 3 snaps after he hurt his leg in the first half, so the first half pretty much encompasses it. We've got that one really great throw that we already broke down at length. We got 3 solid throws, 6 routine ones, and 2 bad throws. Additionally, he peppered in a throwaway that we said wasn't quite positive, but it was a normal throw. It wasn't a bad throwaway. And we had a neutral run where he didn't maximize the play, but he still gained a few yards. He was crazy moving in the pocket in the first half before he got hurt, with 11 pocket movements that were positive, often getting multiple on the same play. And this turns out to be an A to A plus first half. I'm not sure which one I'm going to settle on just yet. I lean A, but it was pretty flawless, pretty unstoppable stuff. And a lot of it was within scheme, but as we've noted, when it wasn't within scheme, it was still really good. In fact, his accuracy plus rate, so throws that are not within scheme, is 67%. 2/3 of the time when he's not doing routine shit, he's doing good shit as a passer. So, really good first half from Mahomes. But unfortunately, I think he should have stayed out of the game. I don't think he should have come back after he was injured, and here's why. So at this point, Patrick Mahomes is out of the game. He's in the locker room getting taped up. Chad Henne comes in. 37-year-old Chad Henne, journeyman backup. And he's at his own 2-yard line. In fact, at one point, Chris Collinsworth actually said, I think it's on the next play, whatever happens on this drive, it's a victory for the Chiefs because he at least got them away from their own end zone so they can punt better. Now, there's plenty of running the ball, and here they get lucky that this isn't picked, but that's not pickable. That's just a bad ball. Don't get it tipped at the line. Everything is schemed up, right? Everything is simple, easy throws, in space, and Chad Henne is going to typically make those reads that I was mentioning earlier that Patrick Mahomes misses. So while Henne is going to look a lot different playing in the same offense is carrying him the same way it would carry Patrick Mahomes if he so chose to take advantage of it. Now, part of what makes Mahomes great is that when he gambles, he wins more than he loses. And that can add a little bit to your offense, even if it occasionally takes away from your offense. Right? It's still a net positive. Yeah, it's a bad throw. 1 of 2 on the drive. And here Isaiah Pacheco takes it end zone. Or not. He steps out just a little bit early, but it just goes to show the Chiefs are both really, really good. Like, they have an awesome offensive line and about 8 different weapons who would start on most good teams. And they also have an incredible coach who does shit like this and gets Travis Kelce, best tight end of all time, wide the fuck open, even though he's supposed to be double covered. Just an incredible pick play. So I just showed you how efficient the offense ran with Chad Henne, who's not very good. Patrick Mahomes is shot up with painkillers and his leg is taped up like a mummy. And he's going to give it a go in this second half, and I don't think he should have because you saw how efficient things were running, and you're going to see a drop-off. Right here, Mahomes is running, a routine play, gets the ball out in time, but earlier we mentioned that his processing in structure isn't very good. Now watch, on 3rd and 1, right here. Motion, Kadarius Toney. He's the primary read, and Mahomes knows it. Right here, the ball needs to be in the air on the way to Toney. Instead, Mahomes is late, hesitates for whatever reason, and you can't say that he's trying to go deep because you can see the other 4 receivers downfield right here. There's no deep routes on this play. This is just Mahomes processing poorly, not understanding what's going on, and sure, he runs and gets the first down. But he shouldn't be doing things like that. He's got a hurt ankle, he can only hurt it more, and he can't count on his legs the way he could earlier in the game. Note that he has a ton of time in the pocket, and he just throws it away. Why? I wish I had the All-22 so I could show you who gets open, but he's not seeing the field well. Patrick Mahomes is not a good quarterback when he can't create chaos and live in that chaos. Here, again, this isn't even bad processing. Yes, he zeroes in on his favorite receiver, Travis Kelce, but it is open. He just misses the throw. That's going to happen. You're going to miss throws when you're hurt. I get it. And I totally give him sympathy for that. And I'm not going to hold his passing against him, but his processing, that's another story. This isn't even like an admonishment of Patrick Mahomes. It's just when he's this hobbled, there's only so much you can do with your offense. Sure, he can make a routine throw. And yes, I believe that should have been close to a first down, if not a first down. Yes, I believe that this play actually was a first down. But, there's no use in having Patrick Mahomes in there on 3rd and inches. Put Chad Henne in there and run a normal quarterback sneak. If you're not going to run a quarterback sneak, at least they fear it. Whereas with Mahomes, they know that you're either running the ball or throwing it out wide. Again, ton of time in the pocket. And this time, Andy Reid gets the drive started with a wide open shot to their 2nd-string tight end, I believe. It's a big white guy, so I'm assuming it's a tight end. Let's see if they give us the All-22. Here we go. Big white guy, 2nd-string tight end. And you see, it's just a cover 3 beater, right? So this is a cover 3 defense. You know what? All-22 time. After Andy Reid gets that drive started off with a big manufactured chunk play, one of his favorites, one of his go-tos, the Chiefs get in a little bit of a rhythm, but Mahomes tries to throw it right away. This is a pickable ball. It should have been caught by the defensive back, and it almost was. In fact, 30 years ago, this is probably called an interception, because it looks like one. Right? He throws the ball, it's late, it doesn't have enough velocity on it. It goes into the arms of the players, and it comes away in the arm of the defensive back. Once upon a time, that's called a pick in this league. Now, no, it didn't get caught. But if you throw that ball 9 times, or 10 times, it's going to get caught by the defensive back 7 times. Here, just a bad ball. Just underthrown. If you're going to make this throw, it has to be now. And it has to be a line drive using outside leverage, not this lofting over the top stuff. That's bad. And again, that's almost pickable. If he hangs that ball up there for even another foot, the safety has a chance to make a play on it. The penalty's against the offense, so 3rd down and 10, or 19 rather. And here's a routine little screen. Nothing to speak of, not indicative of anything on Patrick Mahomes' part. So this game is getting tighter, and the Chiefs need to do something. Here, you can see Mahomes' accuracy has to be affected by his foot, because that's just a terrible throw. And yeah, everybody misses, and even Mahomes misses relatively frequently. but that was egregious. The second down throw is a routine throw, in time, in rhythm. When he's thrown to Kelsey, he tends to be better with his decision making, which tells me that it's not that he doesn't see things, it's that he gets greedy or doesn't trust what he's seeing. Here, this is just a bad ball. I can't tell if it slips out of his hand or it gets tipped, but he just messed up. And on second down, a routine throw. Now, this is a plus pocket movement. He can't really move, but this is Tom Brady, Justin Herbert style pocket movement. And it's really cool to see that he can do this because it shows us that he's going to have a long career even after his athleticism completely fails him. Now, right here, it looks like a clean pocket, but what Mahomes sees and what the guys like Brady and Herbert see is that this edge is going to win. So rather than staying where he is, just take a tiny little slide to get back inside so that the defender still has to run through your offensive lineman to get to you. It's just a tiny little movement that really, really helps in the pocket. That's a positive movement and a routine throw. That's really good stuff from Mahomes. Good vision, great pocket IQ, pocket awareness, whichever you prefer. I tried to mix them. It didn't work. And the Chiefs are on the move. Here, it's a little late, and it has no velocity on it, but this is a good ball. It's weird seeing weak-armed Mahomes, but because of his injury, he can't step into his throws, so he's kind of out here throwing like Joe Burrow. And here, I love Kadarius Toney. I had a huge draft crush on him, and him going to the Chiefs is unfair, I believe. Once he learns this offense, it's over. That man runs a 4.3, like, damn near flat, and he just trucked a dude on his way to the end zone. What a monster. Did he get in the end zone? Is it a touchdown? No. Almost, though. All right, and this is probably the best play of Mahomes' game after the injury. All right, right here, 11 is open, and the ball needs to get there, but you've got Andre Cisco, a good safety, kind of taking away the throwing lane, because you can't quite see it. Over here on the right side of the screen by my mouse is where the receiver is on a seam route, which means he's just kind of running straight. And if this safety wasn't here, Mahomes could just zip it in, throw a line drive right again where my mouse is on this right edge of the screen. But the safety is here. So he's got to get a little creative and buy a little time. He's got to use his eyes and wait so that this safety stays shallow, and then the wide receiver can get open behind him. Mahomes jumps and makes a solid throw. So that's 2+ movements and a solid throw. Good job. That is Mahomes winning with the mental side of the game. Here you can see it perfectly. I love this. Thank you, NBC. Right here is when I was saying, like, yeah, you could just zip it in. Right here is when I paused it earlier. And it turns out, it's good that we have the All-22, 5 really isn't that much of a threat. It's actually a little bit more this defender here that he's going to want to avoid. Now, I can't tell if he looks off because he's reading the play improperly and just notices this receiver now, but the fact of the matter is he eventually finds the wide open dude. So let's call it 1+ pocket movement and a solid throw. This is why we need the All-22. This is why typically I make these videos after examining the All-22, but it's playoffs and I want to get this out for you early so that you can watch it before the games start. This is the last drive that Mahomes is going to need to throw the ball on, and that's his last throw of the game. Just a routine little swing out. And from here, we'll have a lot of drama, but it all ends in the Chiefs kneeling the ball down. So, let's get to the charts.
So now that we've seen every snap and we've broken it into first half and second half, which is effectively pre-injury and post-injury, we can see that Mahomes' game fell off a cliff when he got hurt, right? He had that pickable ball that he was really lucky on. He had 6 inaccurate throws, and some of them were just because he couldn't step in and it looked wrong coming out. It was just inaccurate, and some of them were bad decisions. He had 7 routine throws, which is good. It means he was at least executing the offense most of the time, and he did have 2 positive throws, namely the one for the touchdown to Valdez-Scantling in the back of the end zone, which wasn't the hardest throw, but he did have to do some things to manipulate the pocket and get the ball accurately into the back of the end zone, which is, a 15-yard throw. He only manipulated the pocket 3 times in the second half, and he had that neutral run, which we wish he wouldn't have done. He just misread the play. That means that on the whole, he had a lot more negative plays than positive plays in this game. And his accuracy when throwing the ball downfield was not that good. If you take away all the pedestrian passes, his accuracy percentage was only 40, which is a little bit below the league average. It's tough to give Mahomes a grade on this game because in the first half before he was injured, he looked really good. And even though he was making the same mistakes he typically does, he was making up for them like he typically does. There was certainly some Mahomes magic in the first half, and when it really came down to it in crunch time, he brought it back out. But honestly, I think that the Chiefs would have been a lot better off sticking with Henne, if only because Patrick Mahomes has more time to heal up and doesn't have a risk of re-injury. Even when it comes to the product on the field, though, I think that Henne would have been better at executing the offense simply because he would have stuck to the play, read it quicker, and been efficient, whereas Mahomes struggles to play in structure, and when he's hurt, he has to play in structure. Going forward, if his high ankle sprain doesn't heal up miraculously fast, I don't see him having a good time next week in the AFC Championship, be it against Buffalo or against the Bengals. I don't think the Chiefs win another game unless Mahomes looks a lot healthier, because I don't think he can win from the pocket without some movement. That chaos is what makes him special. In the past, we've seen him hobbled, like against the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, and he does not look very good. On the whole, I'll give Patrick Mahomes a C performance for this game. Yes, his stats show that he was a little bit worse than average, right? His positive play rate was only 19%, which is almost 10% below the league average, and his negative play rate was league average at 29. He had a normal amount of cheap plays at 50%, and his accuracy was only slightly below average at almost 68%. League average is about 72. Was Patrick Mahomes bad in this game? Certainly not. But I do think that these questions of, was Patrick Mahomes better on one leg than most quarterbacks are on two, is absurd, because frankly, I don't think he was the best quarterback on his team after he got injured. I also think that this game serves as a really welcome reminder that Andy Reid is what makes this Chiefs team so great. They have an awesome offensive line, they have really good, really deep weaponry, and Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback, a really good quarterback, but what makes them special is Andy Reid, and to a lesser extent Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy, drawing up awesome plays and calling them at really opportune times. What do you guys think? Hit me in the comments if you think that I misgraded a play or if you want to add some perspective. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I hate to sound like a YouTuber, but now that I'm about to get monetized, I guess I gotta start acting the part. Until next time, I'll be grinding film. Happy Division Round Sunday.